Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Well, we ended the series on the pictorial history of the Second World War, and yeah, it was a nice series. I didn't have the fifth book, so if anyone asks, I don't have it, but maybe someday I will, and I can always go back to that series, of course, at that point. But we're now going to get into a new one. So I have another pictorial history book, and this one is about the American people. It's going to have a lot of drawings, a lot of photos, things like that. So I hope you will enjoy this journey with me. We're gonna start. Not gonna be a much. It's not gonna be a long video today. Just a little bit of a shorter one, just because I want to try to get into it first off. But yeah, you can see the wonderful art that is within this. Well, as you can see, it's got quite a bit. This book only goes up to about 19. I think it's like 1984. 1985 is the copyright, so say probably about 1984. That sounds about right. So we'll give this preface, and then probably start the part one today. Preface. Nothing more amuses the European visitor to America than the invariable question, how do you like America? Sometimes the tourist is asked that before he or she is fairly off the boat. And as an English author said, I can go to the Alps on a vacation and no one will expect me to write about Switzerland. But if I go to the States, people are sure to ask, when is your book on America coming out? In a word, the United States is felt to be an experiment, and one still on trial. There are three good reasons for this. One, of course, is the newness of the country. When Elizabeth I was on the throne and Shakespeare was writing his plays, there was not a single Englishman resident west of the Atlantic. Another is the fact that except for the handful of native Indians and the descendants of the African slaves, all Americans represent voluntary emigration. They came to the country as individuals of their own free choice, whereas the older countries were like families in which one was born. Citizens of the United States were more like members of a party, a club, or a church. They chose America. But the third and most important reason is that the United States was the first example of popular self-government on a large scale. Previous democracies had been small city-states or, at most, loose leagues of states such as the United Netherlands and the Swiss Confederation. All great empires had been monarchies in form. Even the Jews went from theocracy to monarchy with Saul, and Rome from aristocracy to monarchy with Caesar and Augustus. The truth was expressed most tersely by Lincoln, a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. In fact, Lincoln viewed the Union effort in the Civil War not primarily as a war to free slaves, although it did free them, or even to save the American Union, but rather as an attempt to prove that nations so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. He regarded it as part of the world struggle for freedom and democracy, although it was actually fought on the American front. This book falls into four parts: the colonial period, the young republic, so it's about, and so it's 1784 to 1865, the Industrial Revolution and World Powers, 1866 to 1918, and the New Day since 1919. The first period, from 1607 to 1783, covers the childhood and adolescence of the nation when it was still under parental authority as the 13 colonies. The second, from the Revolution to the Civil War, the making of a frame of government, the westward movement, and growing tensions between North and South. And finally, the third, the transformation from a country chiefly agricultural and exporting raw materials to one mainly industrial and exporting manufactured products. The last, the United States as a great world power with world responsibilities involved in world wars. Whatever else American history may be, it is truly an epic, heroic adventurous. Um, but it is not like Homer's tale of the Trojan War. It resembles rather the Aeneid of Virgil, which dealt with the emigration of refugees and exiles from Asia Minor to new homes in Italy. American history is the story of how refugees and exiles from many countries, chiefly European, founded a new home and a new identity on a new continent. So, that's quite quite the great preface, I do say. Um, I like it very much. And while I was going to start with this, I wanted to keep this video a little short, so I think the preface is good enough. So that is going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you have any ways I can improve these videos, comment down below. I read all your comments. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.